Hi, my name is Jody DeVere, and I am the CEO of AskPatty.com. Today, I have with me Dr. Sirena Pellarolo, and she is going to talk to you about her consulting practice. She is one of our newest consultants on the Ask Patty Consulting Network. So welcome, Sirena.
Thank you so much, Jody. I am so excited to be part of your consulting team. I'm very grateful to be with your tribe and to be able to be of service to the women that you serve.
Sirena, your credentials and your experience are amazing, really. And I'm so excited for people to learn more about you, your background, and your experience. Can you share some information about yourself?
Of course. I'm going to go back to my childhood. I was born in Argentina in the 50s in a very male-dominated society. Actually, I am here in Buenos Aires, in my country right now. And since I was very young, I realized that in order to find my true voice, my authentic voice, I needed to do a lot of work to go against the grain of the culture. So through trial and error, I learned to become empowered. And as I grew up, I realized that the tools that I had learned and used and practiced, I wanted to share with as many women as I could because they were very effective. So since time immemorial, I started researching women's empowerment. I moved to Los Angeles with my then husband and my two daughters to pursue a Ph.D. at UCLA, where I studied mostly Latin American cultural studies and women's studies. And I did most of my research on women's empowerment in Latin America and Latina women in the US. And after that, I became a professor. I taught both the UC system and the CSU systems in California. And I mentored thousands of students who were mostly Latinas. And I loved what I did. I did all my research. I went to conferences and shared the results of my research. And when I arrived into the menopausal time of my life, I started to become disenchanted with my career and my life. I realized that I wanted to share my message of women's empowerment outside of the academic walls. And I decided to retire early. I retired at 55. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that I wanted to continue with my mission of empowering women. So I became certified as a holistic health coach, and I started my practice. And so I brought together into my coaching practice my many years of research of women's empowerment, also my spiritual practices and my spiritual journey that I also had become a spiritual counselor, and the physical part, the holistic health. So after some years, I rebranded myself as the Midlife Midwife because I wanted to support women at midlife to rebirth themselves like I had done and to become empowered and thriving and live a vibrant and fulfilled second half of their lives. So I mostly work with midlife women and sometimes beyond midlife, because I feel that every time we come to a new decade, there's some reinvention that happens. And so I work with a lot of mid-career women who are becoming disenchanted with academia or corporate work, and they want to start on their own. So that's mostly the work that I do. And my approach is holistic. I look at the woman in their entirety, body, mind, and spirit. So we do a lot of physical work and maybe diet or exercise, but also prayer and meditation, and a lot of emotional intelligence work, because that's usually what is keeping them stuck. So that's the work that I do.
Wow, Sirena, right now, I think there's a real need for what you're doing because so many folks during this period of COVID-19 are having to reinvent themselves. They call it pivoting now.
That's
And,
right.
going through massive career changes, life changes, it's great to have a mentor, a coach, a consultant to help, guide you through that process. So can you talk a little bit more about some specific uh, consulting work that's a little more drilled down, or examples of some of the work that you have done?
Yes, of course. I do most of my coaching is online. I've been doing it for 5 years virtually. And I do private and also group coaching. And I use a very, very effective tool, which is a map based on the 4 seasons. That's a very good map to track the different stages of the transitions that women are going through. Usually what happens is that when we outgrow a stage of our life and we don't know what's coming next, which might be happening with many of the women who are pivoting now, we start feeling we have some kind of lack of confidence and insecurity because we feel that we have failed, that we have chosen the wrong career or the wrong profession, and we didn't put enough to make it work. But actually we did. The thing is that we outgrew what we were doing. So that would be the summer part of the map. So we get into an autumn, a fall, where we know what we don't want anymore, but we don't know what we want. So we start to make a lot of adjustments to move forward. And moving forward is taking the courage to get into the winter, which is what the ancient mystics called the dark night of the soul. It's a time of reflection, self-discovery. It's a time where we stay sort of dormant, like the caterpillar in the cocoon, where we are rearranging ourselves and growing our wings to really get out into the spring with the wings like the butterfly. So that map is really effective to be able to understand the different stages of the transition and to understand what is the work that needs to be done, the life work that needs to be done in each stage. So I do that work privately, and I also offer group programs where we work with that model, and it's very effective. I've seen incredible results.
Actually, Sirena, you did a very brief, shortened version during the virtual workshops that we were doing, the retreat, the 90-minute retreat we did for a few months. And
Yes.
it was eye-opening, just thinking about your life in this format of the seasons and identifying where we were in the season
Yes.
of our life. It's really fascinating work. And in my past, I've also done something called mapping, which helps kind of where I've been, where I'm going. And so I love that style of consulting. And many women come to me at a loss for, they're at a change in their life. And it's such a valuable tool. And you are an amazing guide. Can you tell me a little bit more about other things that you have done as a consultant? I know that you have a lot of expertise in diversity and inclusion and in terms of women's issues in the Latino market. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, of course. My coaching practice is bilingual because I am bilingual, and I attract a lot of Latina women into my practice, both bilingual and also Spanish only. I have some clients in Latin America who only speak Spanish because they feel drawn to our cultural identity, because they identify with me, and they know that I understand what they're going through culturally. So I do a lot of work with them. My interest is to continue to expand in Latin America and in the US with Latina women. And another interesting part of my practice is that I do use my skills as a health coach. For example, when we are going through the fall, when we're doing that map in the fall, it's a time of releasing. So I invite my clients to do a very gentle cleanse, a cleanse that I have been doing myself and hosting with clients for almost 20 years. It's very personalized and very gentle, because what I notice when they do this 1 week cleanse is that they start to release not only physical toxins, but they also start to release mental and emotional toxins that they didn't even know they had stored in their body. So when they start releasing like anger, for example, or grief or irritation or fears, I know we identify the raw material that we're going to be using in order to disentangle what has been keeping them stuck or paralyzed or confused or whatever. So I really enjoy bringing those skills of the holistic health coaching to this bigger type of coaching and helping women rebirth themselves, because it's very effective also.
You know, it goes without saying that these processes that you have spent so much time in your career to develop would be applicable to companies that are
Mm-hmm.
going through seasons, cultural changes, and how to navigate through them. And so I really see a need, especially during these challenging times when companies are pivoting or departments are pivoting, people are pivoting, to get to go into a process that will help them move forward. One of the tools that you gave me was the ability in the midst of feeling stuck at home is to always have vision. And once you
Mm-hmm.
have vision, you have hope and something to point to move you forward. And I really want to thank you for that. I know I'm shortening it quite a bit, but it was really a powerful way to look at things.
Yes, absolutely. When we started with the quarantine and everybody was so confused and so uncertain of what was going to happen, to me, it's very important to do that visioning work that I learned when I was trained as a spiritual counselor at the Agape International Center in Los Angeles, which is a process of really catching the vision in the quantum field of what is to come. There's so many possibilities that we can create. So why not create the best possibility ever instead of creating a doom and gloom future? Really, we have the power to decide what our life will look like. So as we catch that vision of the best version of our life, that's like a north for us to just walk towards. So yeah, I do that a lot. And another thing that I do, the skills that I have been hosting wise women's councils for over 15 years based on the Native American Elders Council's format. So that is a very interesting format also to use in companies, to have a very horizontal way of the leaders of the company coming together and sharing whatever the issue is at that time, and learning to listen to each other and to speak from the heart and to listen from the heart. I know that the council format is being used a lot in the corporate world and in different organizations. So I also bring those skills.
Wow. I could talk to you for hours, Serena. You're a most fascinating person. And I so admire your skill set and your knowledge base. It's really tremendous. Thank you so much for this time with you today. I want to thank all of our listeners. And to find out more about Dr. Sirena Pellarolo, you can visit the Ask Patty Consultants page, or you can visit our YouTube channel to listen to more videos about our consultant network. These women are absolutely amazing professionals, Dr. Sirena being one of the most, that you can hire for your business or personally for your consultation needs. Thank you.
Thank you so much.